Your source for everything paranormal. Para-X. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para-X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. UFOs. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling.
And good evening, everybody. I am here on my own. Jerry is not with us. He disappeared. Probably took off with the elves or something like that. I'm just saying. So today, and how is everybody out there? And I hope you guys can hear us because I'm talking really loud because I don't have a microphone, unfortunately. So I hope everybody's doing good. And we do have a good show tonight. At least I hope so. So I am on my own, except for I do have my daughters with me. And I got Jasmine and Dorothy. Say hi, girls.
Hi. Hi, guys. Glad to be here with you guys tonight.
So tonight we're going to talk about basically families that are into the paranormal. So like, well, how are you girls today?
Good. Great.
Yeah. It's sunny, isn't it?
Feels nice.
Yes. It's nice. The weather's way nicer than it has been in a while. So just saying. So listen. Say hi. Okay, so everybody. So I hope you guys are hearing us. Are they hearing us? Okay, so I guess we're looking in the chat room, guys. So there's Moofy. There's in there. Snook. Sarge, of course, and who else do we got in there? Can't see Cat, and Silly Cat was on here too. Yep. So thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's not gonna be like as a great show with Jerry. Of course, we're missing Jerry. So, and he can talk. Let me tell you. Anyways, so let's get into the show. So the whole idea to this show is, like I said, talking paranormal and your family. Basically, like I'll start off and I'll say, what I'll say is like, so when I got into the paranormal, of course, you know, I was into the paranormal since I was a child. You guys all know this. I've had my first experience when I was 12 years old. I ended up having of course I had some abilities, you know, of course I'm a kid. I don't know about what all this is all about. I just know that there was something else out there. So I got into it and everything and decided to end up having children, of course. And then that's when Dorothy came along. Right, Dorothy?
Yep.
Yeah. And then, so tell them about yourself, Dorothy.
I am my mom's daughter, obviously. I'm the oldest of the three children.
Yeah, she just turned 33 years old, you guys. So
Yesterday.
So we celebrated today since we got together.
And which experience do you want me to talk about?
Well, what got you into the paranormal is what made you start thinking about the paranormal?
I didn't really think of it until we started watching the shows with you.
Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, we didn't really do anything much until we started the shows, like Ghost Hunters and Adventures, and Paranormal State actually was the first one that we got really into with you.
Yeah. So, of course, that's good. That is good, seriously. And you what?
That's how we learned about Lauren. That's how we learned about Lauren Warren and Chip and everybody else. But the experiences, which one? The Greys or...
Well, there's all kinds of...
Or seeing Marcy.
Well, yeah, tell us about your first experience, like with Marcy, when you saw that.
Okay.
How old were you?
I had to have been 5 or 6. I was pretty young. And you could just put us down to bed or to go to sleep or something. And I remember, and I only remember this one because of the house that we were living in with Grandma.
Mm-hmm.
And the stairs that led upstairs led into an office. And went from the office into a dining room, and I came down to get something to tell you I was thirsty.
Uh-huh.
And the office door was closed, and I opened it, and I remember my grandpa being sick like a few weeks before,
mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden Marcy got sick and ended up in the hospital.
Right.
And then, so I remember opening the door and seeing her standing behind you as if she was actually there.
Uh-huh. So you saw her behind me when I walked in or something? Or?
No, you were sitting at the table with everyone else.
Okay.
And I saw her just like kind of standing behind you, just watching, just like trying to talk to you or trying to do something to get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
And she saw me and started walking towards me.
Okay.
But when I saw her walking towards me, I ran back up the stairs and hid the blanket underneath my face.
So this was the time that Grandma had that birthday, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Grandma have a birthday? Okay, so that's the same time I saw her too. So apparently, who we're talking about is she's one of my best friends, and she ended up passing away that day. And she came to us. So she came to her first. She was able to notice that you noticed her, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you were how old again?
I had been like between 5 and 8.
Okay. So then when I went upstairs, and she never told me anything, I went upstairs because she was laying down. I remember you were laying down on the bed. And I walked into the room, and I saw right behind me a figure in the mirror. I could see it in front of the mirror, and I noticed it, and it just made me give me that overwhelming feeling. And I turned around, and there was nobody there. But I could see it through the mirror as I was walking into the room. And then all of a sudden, somebody called me downstairs. I think maybe about maybe 15 minutes, not even 15 minutes.
I don't remember.
I came down the stairway, and they told me on the phone, her mother told me that she had just passed away. So that was one of those experiences that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So go ahead, Jasmine.
So as far as any personal experiences, I guess personally, I didn't really recognize anything really different about a life or death situation. I guess I was we were pretty well kept from that. I guess we were very much churchgoers and things like that. So I never really thought too much into the other life. So I guess with my first experiences happening, I would probably put me at the age of 9 through 11 years old. I guess all I could really recall is I remember seeing a man one time, and I was in my bedroom. We had just moved to a different state. All I remember is just seeing a man who was dressed in what looked like a rain suit get-up. Like he had his brim hat on, a long trench coat, a very dark face. I don't really know if I would say that it was anything evil because it didn't really scare me. I think what scared me was because I didn't know what it was. So I think that was just kind of a one-time deal that I've ever really noticed. Other than that, I mean, as far as growing up and really learning about what the past life is probably through a lot of TV, I guess, a lot of paranormal and just being intrigued by things that can go bump in the night and just being really curious. And also, I think just being my mother's daughter and being able to kind of just see the things or understand the things that she would tell us about our family and friends, you know, how people would watch over you or come to you or things like that. So I think a lot of it had to do with a lot of prayer and thinking that, you know, I could see them or I could feel them if I wanted to. So I think that opened up my eyes and opened up my heart to a lot of possibilities in the world. And to actually get into the paranormal and to seek it out, would probably just have begun when we started CAT Paranormals those many years
Yeah,
ago.
so many years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you exactly. I think it's past 7 years, I want to say.
Oh,
Jerry's
wow.
already, so Sims is already going on, I think this is his 12th year, I want to say. So I want to say, wow, we're close to behind them. You know,
Yeah.
I think they started 2 years prior. So we've been pretty
Well,
well.
you
I
did-
mean, what did you guys think when I said, well, you guys were out of the house, that's for sure. I remember that.
No, not quite, because you had done your first Paracon.
Oh, when I went to go, when I was a patron. When
Yeah,
I
you did your first
prepared.
con
Yeah.
a year before we started.
And that was in 2011 because Ben,
Mm-hmm.
it was a year before, so it had to be 2010 because Ben just graduated. And
No.
then, no?
Because me and Jasmine I had just moved home from Iowa.
Okay.
Me and Jasmine both did, because I was working at the school.
But what'd you guys think when I said, hey?
When you came home and said, I think I want to start this group, I said, more power to you. And I
Yeah.
said, whatever you decided, I'll support.
Yeah.
And I have ever since.
You've been an investigator since.
Yep.
Isn't that funny? And you guys learned a lot through
Yes.
this
Oh, yeah.
journey. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Meeting all the sorts of people that we've met and coming across all the different opportunities in different places.
Yes.
Learning things. I mean,
Yes.
learning about the paranormal, learning the techniques, the equipment. I want to say, what's your favorite equipment, Dorothy?
Mine would have to be the, oh man, which one? There's a few of them actually. But I think it's the one that does everything all together. Or
The EDI.
the EDI.
And
That
only
would-
because Jasmine and Dorothy, they do a lot of part-time, but they do a lot of participating too as well. So.
Yes.
So they do majority of the time part-time, but I always have to beg them because Jasmine works really well with kids.
Yes,
And I
she
think
does.
she has this thing about her that spirits, I mean I believe there are spirit children somewhat, you know, and I don't think everything is evil. You know, I learned to believe that at this
No, not
point now.
everything is.
And I just think that sometimes the younger ones seem to help, like warnings and stuff like that. I feel that way. I don't know. A lot of people don't believe in that. They just believe that because children would go to heaven. But I'm pretty sure, you know, God would let them roam the earth if they, you know, to come and visit and stuff, their families and stuff. I don't know. I mean, that's just my point, you know. Now going back to, because I go all over the place. I'm sorry, guys, if I do. What about you, Jazzy? Like, what do you like of equipment?
So, as minimal as this could be, and I guess I have my own ways of explaining it, where I could probably just end the show with this conversation. But to keep it simple, I really enjoy using a flashlight. The most simplest piece of equipment, a flashlight and a camera really is what I kind of like. I guess whenever we go on investigations, those are two very things that I grabbed at that time, and it always just kind of seems to spark my interest or my attention. I guess another really thing that I like is the dowsing rods. I don't know how simple they are. I don't know how clear they can be, but I guess it's always very interesting. It always gets my blood flowing to even just see the light turn on when you ask a question and it kind of all fall in place, which just seems to be very real to me towards the end. So I think, the flashlight and definitely just a camera are my probably go-to favorite pieces of equipment to use, as they're really not too much of equipment, but
Right.
they get the job done.
So what about, do you guys remember, so there's different things that we've done, okay? A lot. Go ahead, Dorothy.
Quick question for you, Jasmine. So, were you holding the dowsing rods when you guys did that? When you guys went to the expo with Jerry?
Yeah.
When you fell
Yeah.
back?
Was I holding dowsing rods then?
No, she wasn't.
No,
I don't think she was.
Actually,
holding the
I think
dowsing
I was
rods.
holding an EMF because almost everybody in the room had their own EMF, as we
Oh, okay.
suggested.
Okay.
I don't remember why, but we all suggested that everybody just has their own EMF and kind of just
The K2.
follow the K2,
K2 and the EMF. Yep.
just to see if
if anybody would get
they're
any
getting
hits.
the same reactions as
Correct.
everybody else.
I think
was.
everybody had one. Everybody totally had a K2 meter.
Well, I just remember Mom coming home and telling me that you fell at this expo. I'm like, wait, what?
That was out in Walcott. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to be doing an event in Walcott pretty soon, so I'm hoping everything works out, as a matter of fact. So we're also investigating Jerry and everyone. So okay, so another thing. What was your first, what was like, let's say, investigation? What was your favorite?
Your most memorable name.
Yeah, maybe your memorable one.
My memorable one? Can we even talk about it?
If it's personal, let me see. Tell me what
On the radio?
Which one? The farm?
No, the one down the street from us.
The courthouse?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, you could talk about the courthouse.
When we did the city courthouse.
Waseca City Courthouse.
Mm-hmm.
What part did you like?
I think I liked the part where we sent Jasmine and one of the people that worked in the courthouse, and where Jasmine said, "Oh, I'm just going to go take a peek inside the judge's chambers."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the door pulled back on Jasmine.
Yeah,
and
a couple
locked.
of things happened there actually.
I think that was my favorite,
resonated.
especially because after the weekend, the judge called them and said what happened.
Yeah.
I had to call security to unlock my door.
So apparently, when we did this investigation, it was the Waseca Courthouse. And what happened was, we did it on a Friday or Thursday night, I can't remember exactly. But the judge ended up calling on a Monday and asking the HR, because she was with us, what the hell happened, because he never locks his door, ever, in the judge's chamber. And in the 40 years, he even said, in 40 years, I've never had to do that. So I thought, which was cool, was when Jasmine, what you're talking about, Dorothy, we were investigating, and Jasmine wanted to go into the courthouse, and the judge's chambers, and we weren't allowed to go into the judge's chambers. We weren't allowed to go up there, and so she went, and she says, "Well, I'll just take a peek." So HR went with her, so that way, we don't go past our limits. And so once we got up there, all of a sudden, Jasmine said she went to go open the door because she told her, "Just go ahead, it should be open." She goes to open the door, and the door pulls back. Okay, go ahead, Jasmine. I was just so excited.
So there's actually more than one really big stories at that same night, and I pretty much think that it was all a family affair that night, besides the individuals that were working there.
Yeah.
So I guess it's also really kind of cool because it's a piece of our history, it's a piece of our town, and I mean, we've grown up here, and it's just really awesome to have such a privilege to be able to do that. But going back into the story here, what she was saying, we weren't technically allowed to go investigate in that particular room, but I was just curious, and so the HR lady, she allowed me to kind of go take a peek for myself to go see what it looked like. So as she was allowing me to go up these stairs, it was a very narrow stairwell and some wood
Wrought
steps, and as I'm ascending the stairs, I reach my hand for the handle, and she tells me that, yeah, it's not locked. Go ahead and take a peek in there, to kind of just hoot my curiosity a little bit. So as I reached for the handle, all I remember was when I grabbed onto the handle, the door slammed against, so the door was a push. And when I was trying to push, the door in the opposite direction pushed against me, not allowing me to actually enter into the room. So when I felt that, or when I kind of heard the door shift and get a little tighter towards me, I said, "Oh, the door is locked." And so I'm trying to jiggle the handle, and I shake it, and she goes, "What? No, it can't be locked. The doors never get locked." And I said, "No, it's locked." And I'm pushing on the door handle, trying to open it. And I guess that wasn't normal. I just remember.
Didn't you also hear behind the door?
I did. I heard. So the door, I could physically see and hear the door push against me as if it was not allowing me inside. And then inside of the room, I am not kidding you, I heard like stampering, like somebody moving towards the opposite end of the room, like trying to get away from the door, trying to hide or something. So,
and I think HR asked one of the girls
if they had went up there.
if somebody was up there, or do you think somebody's in here? Because
Right.
she said she could hear it too. Like
Yep.
they heard the talking, the scampering and stuff
Yep,
like that.
yep.
But the
And
other
so they
two
got
girls
it-
were with us.
Yeah, but we were all in a line trying to go up there, and we're
Mhm.
like, "What? What
That
do
was
you mean?"
the first one.
Yeah,
I was
and-
the first one up. As I'm always the daredevil one, and I'm always the first one to do something
She does.
first.
She's crawled under spaces that are so small, it's not even funny. Sometimes I think she's gonna get stuck in there.
I'm
But she's like,
curious.
yeah, she does. She does. So far, we just haven't done anything by ourselves, so that's a good thing. But so I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened.
Yeah, so a couple other things that I guess happened to me personally there was, so along that time or during that time that we were investigating, I remember, so the building is a 2-level building,
Mhm.
and then there's a basement. We were on the second or the highest level of the building. And what was really odd, and this just gets my skin crawling, and it really doesn't make any sense, to be honest, too. So I don't really understand how something like this could have happened. But I am not the only one that heard this out of maybe 7 people that were there total.
I think quite a bit of us.
There was
know that.
maybe 7 or 8 people in that building total at that time, okay? 2 individuals were on the main level listening and watching tapes for audio and video and things like that. There was another 4 of us on the main top level as we were walking around getting EVP work, getting EMF work and all that, things like that. And there was equipment kind of placed all throughout. But anyway, when we were on that top main level, so there's no top level, we heard boots like going through a top level that was non-existent.
Well,
and
we
then-
didn't know that because
we actually asked them too, is there another level? And they said, no,
So
you're
no-
on the top level.
The elevator. It was the
So,
elevator.
so when we heard those footsteps, immediately, this is just the craziest thing, immediately you hear the ding of the elevator, and then the elevator door proceeds to open with nobody inside. So, I mean, that right there was just kind of like a really big
So
goosebump
basically,
time for
we
me.
were on the second floor with the elevator. We were all standing there waiting to do this investigation.
Yep.
All of a sudden, you hear the beep, 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 beep. So it was the third
boots.
floor. It was boots.
And it would have been a third floor
And I think,
quote.
yep, the elevator opens up, then it dings. You know,
You
we're
hear the
all
boots
looking at it like, what the hell happened? Like, what the hell just happened? There's nobody here with us. And then all of a sudden, the door shuts, goes back up, and then you hear the boots again. And then you guys ran up the stairs and
To
you're
try
all,
to catch, but there's nobody.
there's no way to go in. There's nothing.
no
there's
level.
nothing.
There's no
Yeah.
third floor to go up.
So,
Yeah.
you know, it was, I guess it's the roof, basically. So
Yeah.
it's the roof. And the elevator, so then it must have, we were on the second floor then.
We were on the main
And then,
highest floor.
so there is a space there is a top floor, but not a real floor, basically.
Mhm.
And then there's the
Like an attic,
like an
if you
attic.
will.
Top. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So one other thing that happened with that building before we continue. So I think it was just after the elevator incident. There was a small room that was locked, and actually on the door it said mail room. I was standing, or in the mail room, there's just this small walk that I don't quite know. I think it goes to some other offices or something off to the side. Well, I was standing with that mail room door, and I heard have you ever heard somebody like jingling a handle to a door?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. I heard the jingling of the handle. Yep, exactly. From that mail room. And I mean, it's a locked small mail room as the employees refer to it. And it's locked. It's a mail room. There's no reason that anybody needs to be in there. But I was probably standing about 3 feet away from it. And all I heard, I honestly didn't get to witness it, but I heard it, just that jingling of that door handle. And I mean,
Who went to the restroom and heard like children giggling and footsteps? Didn't they?
I think that was one of the parents that I had worked with that was there.
I know, because she even said, "Were you guys running down the hallway or something like that?" I can't remember if it was that day or maybe another day that she was working there. But she said
I
that
think it was the parent that I was working with who was working there.
Okay, she said that apparently they had like experience where they had running, they heard little children giggling, and I guess the caretakers used to live in there in the basement.
Yep,
Remember that?
Yep.
So apparently they did live in there, and it was a whole family that lived in the basement to take care of the courthouse at the time. So yeah,
I don't know. I have a couple other experiences that I liked when we were there. Well, the one when me and Jasmine are talking to the two parents, and we're sitting there and we're talking to them, and I think Mom's talking to the HR lady, and something like swipes Mom.
Oh, that's right.
And Mom thought it was you
That's
or me.
right, yeah.
And Mom
I go,
turned
why
around
did
and
you-
she goes, "Hold on, honey, just
Yep,
a minute."
I didn't say anything.
Looking at it all weird.
Yep.
Because I was like, it's okay, hold on, because we're in this deep conversation, me and HR.
And we're having our own conversation over here on the side.
And I thought Jasmine's literally rubbed my arm, and I said, "Hold on, honey, I'll be right
that
with
happened
you."
before the elevator.
Yeah, that did. And you said, "What are you talking about, Mom?" And I go, "Didn't you just rub my arm?" And the one girl goes, "Oh my God, I just saw your reaction." And she says, "She did not touch you. She was after that.
I was so far away from you too. I think I wasn't really even.
I just thought it was hilarious because she freaked out. The one girl. And
That's probably what really got her. She was the skeptic in the group, and I think that's what actually got her.
Because she saw my face,
Yep.
she saw how I touched my arm, and then turned around and talked to you and say, "It's okay, honey, hold on." And she's like, "What? Just no way."
Yeah.
So and then that's when the elevator happened,
And the mailroom.
and the mailroom. So everybody freaked
And
out
then
after
when
that.
we're in the, what is it, the witness rooms or the interrogation
Oh, the
room?
interrogation room.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
And we got the names and stuff like that.
It was a very, very active.
It was a
investigation.
good night that night. I want to go back so bad.
Oh, we do. We get to go back this year, as a matter of fact.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, we're supposed to investigate with another team. So yeah.
That's
We're supposed
awesome.
to be doing that. So yeah,
That's awesome.
I just think it's cool because we got a lot of experiences, and then we got the man that said, because right away he thought we were messing with things, and he says they're messing around with all.
Yeah,
of
when we were
the
trying to
EVP."
figure out the lights. And
Yeah, we were trying to figure out the lights, and
Yep.
there was an old man that said that, and there was only one man, and he didn't sound that old, so that was Art. So no. But anyway, so I know the courthouse was really good, and so we get to do that again this year. So I'm hoping we get to do a tour and everything. That'd be great. And we get to go into the chamber where apparently that there was that, I guess, suicide, murder / So apparently somebody did die.
Well, there
and,
was a lot of places we couldn't get to
because of the
voting.
election.
Yep.
There was an
Because it was
election.
voting season too.
So they had it all locked down. So they get to we
There's
get to
only-
do it. And for years, you guys, it was so funny because we were not allowed to speak of it because it was a private case. We weren't allowed to speak of it. And then one day we started doing stories of Wasika, and all of a sudden they all showed up, HR, the courthouse, the people who worked in there, they all showed up to do the stories at the Historic Society. And they're like, "We just came because we knew that you were doing this." And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "You're allowed to say anything you want about the courthouse." So I said, "Are you serious?" So yeah, they let us say it, say about the stuff, and we got to put the EVPs and everything. So I thought it was pretty cool. So yeah, so anyway, so what else, you guys? What is your other experiences, you think?
I mean, I guess for me, what it is I am such a history buff. I love learning everything about our community, about the people who used to live here. I absolutely adore seeing old photos, old letters, old clothing, newspapers. I just love history. So I guess whenever I come across anything old, it just kind of just sparks my interest to keep learning more. Or to want to know more, and what brought people to this cause, or to the way that they're living, or their spirit is existing, and try to really understand down deep, I guess, what it is that keeps these people coming back. So I mean, as far as experiences, and I think a lot of them for me come from just the history, and I think that's why I feel so strong when I do get experiences. And I think even that's why it's so awesome when I'm able to use the flashlight and things like that. So that'll have to be something we talk about here in a little while.
We're just going to take a break, everybody. So we're taking a break.
If you're looking for a truly unique podcast experience, we have you covered. Spirit Bayou with CJ Dunham airs live from the Third Coast in Southeast Texas on Tuesday and Fridays at midnight Eastern Time, covering Creole folklore and folk magic to strange paranormal activity to new equipment for the field. CJ Dunham is a Catholic swamp witch, a devotee to our Mother Mary and the Trinity, a true believer in our Lord, the Holy Ghost, and Christ. Peace be with your spirit and the spirits by you.
Hey Heidi, have you listened to The Calling lately? Why, yes, Steph, I have. It's really good. Have you? Absolutely. It's what I would say is a wild and woolly affair. So does that mean it's a wild and woolly Wednesday show? Well, I definitely think that's true. So you know we listen, since The Calling is the sibling show to our show, The Gathering. Listen to The Calling radio show with Jerry and Kimberly Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Para X Radio Network.
Dead Zone. I want to give a huge shout out to Shauna and congratulations on her new podcast, Exploring the Paranormal Perspective. You'll hear some amazing guests like me, paranormal and true crime stories, and more. Catch her Wednesdays at 8 Central on the Para X Radio Network.
Your source for everything paranormal. Para X.
And we're back, everybody. So I just wanted to let you guys all know that we have great shows. And if you want to listen to this, if you missed this show and you want to listen to it, I know Jerry will post it up on the Calling Radio Show on one of our posts. And then also don't forget that Para X has all these great shows. Like you can listen to all these different shows every single day. Different kinds of things that are on there. They talk about the paranormal, Bigfoot, metaphysical, everything. Also, we got the Gathering Radio Show every Tuesday at, I want to say 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. And they have Stephanie and Heidi, and they talk about the metaphysical, the paranormal, everything. They even talked about the whales, which I thought was a really good show too. So also right after this, we have Geeks right after our show. So just letting you guys know, don't forget the Para X Radio. They have great shows. So anyways, let's get back to talking. Sorry if I really ruined that, you guys. So what else did you guys want to talk? There was something you
what were you saying before we went to break, Jess?
Yeah, I guess back over to personal experiences and things like that, as far as like myself with being a history buff and being able to learn everything about our community or even just other communities. I just love history, like I was saying. So a lot of my places that I get to explore come off of being a curious individual and doing my homework and knowing what I'm getting into prior to getting into it. I guess lucky for me and my, being able to have my mom by my side and being able to know people from like the Historical Society and things like that. They're very open and willing to be able to talk. So I think that
especially the research. Jones welcomed both of you guys right in and giving you so much info and stuff like that, which is beautiful because, like I said, some of those places are dying. There's historic societies and museums and stuff that are just literally going away because people don't use those research sources anymore. A lot of things are
online, but you know what? You can find everything online, but truly not everything is found online. With a lot of the different things.
It's not the same.
You get
hard copies,
hard copies of real documents and stuff like that. Yeah, you can research it super easy, but again,
being able to hold a piece of history in your hand, whether it be a piece of paper or an artifact or anything like that, I think is just really what draws me in personally is being able to physically talk to individuals that know people, being able to have the the documents or the artifacts in hand. I just feel
that's like when we do the fair too, like the fair here in Waseca. Like we were at first, I was a little nervous, but we were really welcomed, really welcomed with open arms and stuff. And people were just we
kind of got those ones that were the whole didn't want us there type. But for each one that we got, we did get a lot of positive.
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of positive, and that's because again we do our research, we make sure, and
you just don't burn those bridges. I really think when you've been a part for a community for 20 plus years, and you really make a name for yourself as far as with you, Mom, being able to raise your children through the school community and having us all involved with something different in growing up and things like that. That I think it just kind of comes with the territory, you earn that respect, and
absolutely,
and I think people will just begin to accept it. That's just the way that we are in this today's world. Is people are very open, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Well, and also, like I said, I really think people should support their local libraries and their historic societies and museums and stuff like that, because those, like you said, documents are real. Those are real documents. Those are real artifacts. Those are real stuff that you could see that's been in the past. So, so we do have a good relationship with our historic society, and I think it's really nice that we get that. So, and we've done so many things here. I have to admit, we've done bars here, we've done banks here, old banks, properties, farmhouses. We've done quite a few things out here. Plus private cases, a lot of private cases, which of course. And we do have a good group. Like we've had Carrie for how long now? Carrie's been with us since the beginning. Yeah, so that's like basically, I think we're behind Jerry. So if this is Jerry's 12th year, then
we have to be on our
10th or 11th, when something like that. Maybe even, something like that. I would say. I'll have to research it and see. So yeah. Any questions, you guys? Is there any questions or anything? No?
They're all talking about Jerry.
Anyways, so then the other thing is, like, what else do you guys like? What was your guys', here's a good one. What do you guys like? What type of method do you guys like? Other than Jasmine saying the flashlight, what type of method do you like doing? Do you like going with, well, of course we go with 2 people all the time or with a group of us, but what would be your favorite type of method of using Dorothy? Like, do you like the spirit box? You know what I mean? What do you like?
Honestly, I like the recorder.
Do you really?
Yes.
You like going back and listening to something you couldn't hear?
Because there's things that you can't, but I think it has a lot more to do with when my friend died, and you took me out there to go find her site, and we couldn't find it for the longest time. And Dad finally took us, and you prayed, and you looked up.
And there it was. They told you to look up.
Something told you to look up, and you have it on your old phone with Sprint. And I wish we would have kept it so bad.
I know.
Because I
forgot it was on there.
It sounded so much like her voice and everything. And when I first heard it, it made my heart fall.
So one time, apparently Dorothy's friend had passed away from a drunk driving accident. Well, she wasn't drunk driving. It was a drunk driver that was hit her. So she asked to go see her gravesite off the road where she had passed away, because apparently she passed away instantly right off the side of the road there. So we went out there to go do that, and like I said, I do have some abilities and I use them sometimes. So she couldn't find it, and I kept telling her, well, we'll have to do it next time, honey, maybe next time. So then I said, well, let me pray, and I started praying. I said, right away I asked, please, angels, help me find her for Dorothy. And right away, I'm not kidding, we were pulled on the side of the road, and it said, look up, like that. That's what it says. Look up and look at the sign. And there was literally a posted sign. Not even
a mile
I want to say, it wasn't even a mile, honey.
It wasn't even a minute. It was like 30 seconds.
Yeah, and there's this little posted note, thing, and it says, posted something, I guess, to tell you
the mile marker. It was the mile marker, and then
all of
a little down from there.
From there, it was like not even 2-3 steps from there was her gravesite,
yeah,
her little area, her memorial
with
site.
her stuffed animals and flowers and.
And then I said, God, I wonder who did this. And I don't know why, but I pulled out the recorder. I don't know why I did this because honestly, I'm not going to sit there and do something like that, especially knowing. But something told me to do it, and I did. And then I said, I wonder who just told me how to get here. I mean, was it the angels or was it her? And all of a sudden, you heard someone say, it's the angels and an EVP. Right?
But it
was so clear.
It sounded so much like her voice.
You think it was her?
I think it was her.
I don't know. I just, to me, because I don't know what she sounds like, that was your friend. So. Yeah. But I mean, things like that happen.
Like, I'm tearing up just talking about it. It still tears me up sometimes. Yeah.
So I wish we would have, I completely forgot that EVP was on there. But my sister, I even showed it to my sister, and she's like, that's no way. And I said, right? I said, you can't tell me, that's true or not. So, yeah. So anyway, so that was a good experience. That really was. It was hard.
I think that one's kind of my favorite one, too.
Yeah. What about you, Jasmine? Like, what is your method other than the flashlight?
So, okay. If I'm going to be completely honest here, I guess I also feel like I have some sort of ability, and I think that I've almost had something ever since I was young. It's never really made sense to me until it was brought to light that that's not entirely something that you think you're crazy for,
Well, I think you would have abilities because I have them, and I think Dorothy is an empath. I think you see spirits. Because
I physically see them.
Yeah.
And I think that I had grown to a point that I almost would tell them to leave me alone. Like, I don't want to see you. Leave me alone. I can't sleep. I suffered from insomnia and night terrors for many, many years, to the point that I was medicated, not understanding my full abilities or what I'm capable of, I guess. So I got off of sleeping medications. I got off of all of that stuff at a very young age. So I wouldn't really say that this had too much an effect on me. Mm-hmm. But I was able to see them. I mean, they would physically come to me. It's almost like it's so crazy to think about or to even say. But it really reminds me of that movie where the little boy sees ghosts, The Sixth Sense. It really is strange. They wouldn't look at all like that. That's a scary.
Thank God.
But they would physically come to me, and a lot of times they would just stand there. Nobody or nothing would ever say anything to me.
Say anything
and so it was just always something that really caught me off guard, and that I learned to kind of just push away and tell them to leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep. So I think with a lot of time and a lot of age, I was able to really just push that out of my life and move on with my life, and have it seem like a completely normal life, if that's what you want to call it. But when I started to understand what they were wanting or why they were coming to me, I definitely started to allow them to come in. So going back to you saying, what is my first or my go-to, if you will, besides the flashlight, is I really enjoy using the spirit box. I use it in a different way that is probably not everybody's standard method.
It's the oh my God.
You put the blindfold on, don't you?
Yeah, there is a name for it, and it's the oh my God, now I'm not going to remember, but it is.
We'll remember after.
Go ahead, Jasmine. Go ahead.
So I use the spirit box, and I basically put I sit in the middle of wherever we're trying to investigate, not completely left alone, but I'm sitting on the floor usually, and I like to say that I'm grounding myself really regardless of where I'm at. You don't need to be outside or in the grass to ground yourself. I think you really just need to be able to feel your own spirit and to understand your abilities, understand that you're a strong individual to be able to proceed and do this in a healthy manner. But yes, I sit in the middle of the room that we were at, and other people will be around me, maybe 10 plus feet if they can get that far. And I put on a blindfold and I put on headphones that really enunciate the sound of the spirit box. So I'm completely drowned into
so it's noise
the white noise. and being with the headphones. So I really can't hear or see anything during that time. But I tell you guys, when this actually begins to happen and it's working, it's almost as if I leave myself, and I wouldn't say that a spirit is coming, but my voice is their voice. And I think that, and I definitely encourage them to help me help them to be able to get their voices out or heard. So anyway, it's just a very powerful feeling that I get. I think that sounds wrong, but
I think what happens is what we do, and I don't know why I started picking you, because for some odd, I think we started with a child, and I think that's why I asked her to do it, because children always seem to have come to you more. So when I started doing that method, I can't remember the life of me what the name of the method. Help me out, chat room. I know you guys know what it is. So Kindred Spirits does it, but I never saw it on Kindred Spirits. I saw it on Paranormal State. That's when they did it, and I've always wanted to do it. So
yeah, he wants them out.
Yeah.
What's your face? Paranormal used to do it. Alfie, I think was her name, or something
right,
like that.
Correct. She was the one that used to receive the messages under the blindfold and the counseling headphones, but she could hear the spirit box. So I asked you to do it, and my God, the results that we got was pretty incredible. Like
it really is insane how I can feel my voice or feel my emotions even just get stronger, just get
like when we were on that farm
I'm receiving them.
Remember the
farm
line?
I don't, because I didn't get to do that one with you guys.
Oh,
I was
okay.
at work.
So the farmland was pretty incredible.
The emotions of the spirits, the farmland, exactly, being able to give details. Basically, like if when something comes through, I'm able to almost mimic or become the individual that is trying to speak through the box. And it's so real. There's many times that I just
There's times where I get worried and I sit there and I'm like, okay, enough is enough, Jazz. And then I do the prayer thing and I break it from you, because right away I notice that you're like going.
I think kids are drawn to her though, because she's so kid-like sometimes.
I don't know.
She acts so much like a kid.
It's her and Jamie. Jamie does the same thing with the kids, and they get good EVPs and stuff like that just from kids. So I think it's pretty incredible. Did you ever go to FIAR with us?
No,
you didn't. Did you?
I did. Me and Jamie. Yes, Jamie acts like a kid.
Yeah, I think we got some really good results
But yeah,
I didn't like the basement though.
And I'll have to say I like that method too, Jasmine. So I always go. That's my go-to. A lot of people don't believe in it.
Once an investigation, I always try to ask, can we do it just once and I mean, I never really go under, if you will, for more than 5 to 10 minutes at a time.
Because I won't let her not go that far, because it's just way too much.
It could be draining. It could definitely be draining. But I think even for my own mental psyche, it hasn't affected me in any negative way. So, I mean,
Okay, so let me ask you guys this. What is, like, your favorite place to investigate? Now, we've done camping. We've done parks. We've done houses. We've done, of course, the courthouse. We've done, train stations. We did this train station. Did you guys ever go with me on the train station?
I did.
Did you? I mean, we did the train station. That was pretty cool, because we got a lot of hits off the K2 just from the train station. What else? So what would be your favorite place?
Does it have to be just our group, or can it be a group investigation?
It could be a group investigation.
I think I know what Jasmine's would be.
What?
The funeral home.
Oh, yeah, the funeral home.
With the...
Yep. So
coming out.
That was a pretty cool. Yeah.
Because she gets so excited in the camera. She's like, "Did you see it? Did you see it?"
I know. So, talk about your experience.
Yeah. So we were at what used to be the very first funeral home in this little.
Can't say where. Can't say where.
So
it
was just a funeral home, and I was sitting by the attic, and all I remember, and it's clearly on camera, so we could always go and jump back to this.
Yeah, if you go to the CAT Paranormal site on Facebook, you can scroll. Yep, you can look.
Has it too.
Oh, yep, Mike O'Neill did the investigation with us, and he loves that clip. because he said
he shows it.
Yeah, he loves to show it, and he sits there and says, "That's because it's off my camera." And I said, "You just better make sure you put our name in it." And so he does.
But yeah, there is this orb that, I mean, it's straight up from the top.
I don't
of
think
the
it's
attic.
an anomaly. It's like
an anomaly,
sure.
yeah.
You know, he says it looks like a mustache, like a little mustache coming out from the stairwell, coming down from the attic.
And it came and it face to face with me and another investigator that we had at the time.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, really exciting. And as far as like much other things that we got, I think that's definitely resonates as number one
on your list.
On my list as to like a piece of
your favorite
evidence that we've received. Yeah, just to have that anomaly come down from the attic, and I mean, it came fast.
And it
from the top
I feel
of the
like
stairs.
I think it came like in a slow mo because it was like on the top of the stairs, and then it's coming through, and then you're all like, "Oh, did you?" You're like, "You said."
I just remember it like it would have been right in front of us. It would have.
Did you see it by eye or did you see it through the camera?
I remember I was looking down and I was watching through the camera, so I was eyes glued onto that camera screen. So I don't recall ever looking up, but we were in pitch dark, so we wouldn't have been able to really see anything anyway. But to have that show up on the camera right in front of us, and it passed by us, through us, next to us, whatever way it was, I mean, it was there.
And that's the beauty of it, because that's the thing, when the owner looked at it and he literally wanted to say something like, "No, that's not what that is." And he was like, "Oh, maybe it's a light." And you said right away, you both said, "Nope, that was from the attic."
Yeah,
and there's no way the lights would have been hitting the top of the attic. Yep. And there was no windows on the side.
Yep.
So there was no way.
Well, I think that even at one point, somebody tried to debunk it using something by one of the stairways or something.
And it didn't.
And we just could not get anything to show anything.
Yeah,
as to what mirror.
Because of the owner. The owner was like, "There's no way. There's no way." He was determined to debunk it, and you literally couldn't have it. There was no explanation. Although he did see mist in his own place. You know what I mean? But he won't admit to it. And he's like, yeah, I saw something. But, so right away.
He's a skeptic.
Some type of a skeptic, but at the same time, he talks about his place all the time. So it's so funny because I used to work with him. But I kind of crack up with him because of that. So I thought that was a pretty amazing piece of...
That's a memory right there.
Yeah, so Odyssey always puts it up. Literally shows
So I guess one other little place that we've always liked to go, can I say it?
Well, I was going to talk about my group.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, Walcott. So if any of you are aware, there's this event that takes place once a year or so over in Faribault.
We're supposed to do something, I think.
It's called Walcott. And this place used to be, one of the last, right? It was one of the very last. It closed in the 80s, late 80s, I want to say, I think. Mental institutions. So it was one of the very last places in North America to have closed, which, is so close to us here. So that's a place that we like to always go and visit. And like I said, it's a place that is participated in every year with the big event that takes place over there. So yeah, one of my very first times ever going there. Now, granted, I just had a Reiki healing, so I was a little extra that evening. But I think what's really cool is I was able to really experience something very, very personal. Now, I really don't remember a whole lot of it. I think I have audio and many witnesses to help me fill in my story.
Yeah, we do have audio on that. I'll have to share that.
Oh, are you going back to what I asked you earlier today?
So I mean, okay, so what happened basically was I fainted. Now, like I said before, I did have a healing prior to that, which probably lit me up and opened arms for anything to come forward.
Bobby Sullivan, the psychic, was with us at that time, and I could sense something following us as we're going down into the trail.
And even he kept saying over and over as we were going down, something's here, something's here, something's walking next to us.
So I told this lady, which is pretty interesting, I told this lady, "Can you take a picture up here?" And she said, "Yeah." She sent it to me through an email, and you could literally see like a mist of some sort, and the weather was not even that bad, where there should have been mist, where it was hot and cold.
It was
I
a
remember
beautiful night.
it was a nice night. And all we were doing, we were just walking the trail, and you can sense something walking. And I said, I know there's something with us. So we end up in the area, in that cave area.
It was a feeding room or something.
Where the old farm, yes,
it would hold corn, or it would hold grain, or it would
like an old cellar,
you know, something like a cellar. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we were in that cellar room. There had to have been at least 20 of us there, and so we were all doing EMF, and we were kind of going all throughout and things like that. And I just remember talking normally to a woman beside me. I think my mother was actually on the opposite side of the room. As I said, there was many of us. We were making our ways around. But this woman was standing beside me, and I think that we were just kind of listening. And
that was May from Sims.
Okay. Yeah. So we were all listening, and I just remember this woman beside me, and we were talking, and everything was kind of normal. Well, then all of a sudden, I guess I just kind of fell, and I guess the audio filled in the rest for me. And to be truthful,
video.
I really don't remember anything besides showing up to Walcott that evening. I don't even remember.
So what got me was I could see and I can sense these things going from one end to the room to the other. And we had Greg Becking with us, we had Sims with us, we had Bobby Sullivan with us, and I could see these going through the room like
running.
But they kept going to her, and they were standing next to her, and I was like, oh my god, I could feel that she was open, she was light to them, and I'm like, oh my god, I can feel it and I can sense it, and I was like,
so you were probably getting a little nervous.
I got nervous, and then all of a sudden, because I knew they were coming coming after you in a sense, but they wanted your light, and I was like, oh my gosh, and all of a sudden, before you know it, I could see her rocking back and forth, I was like, oh no. You know, right there.
That's scary.
I just see her walking back and forth, and all of a sudden, I was like, oh no. And I go, Jazz, and then boom, she hit the ground. And I was like, what? And then
in the audio, I mean, if we had that audio clip right now,
we have it.
I would love to hear it.
Jerry had it.
I just remember that was May. I just remember her, hey girl, and I don't remember it. I actually had to hear the audio to even remember where I was that evening. But I just remember in the audio her say, hey girl, hey, wake up, and my mom right beside me saying, you're okay, and everybody's trying to rub me.
Yeah, they're just trying to get her vibes
on me. And,
they're trying to get her to recuperate, because that was hard.
I think as quickly as it happened, everybody kind of just up and carried me away, and I think I was done for the rest of that night.
Yeah, actually, Bobby Sullivan took you, and
he took me out. Yeah,
and he explained it to you, and there was 3 spirits.
Yeah, he had to tell me. I remember he had to tell me what happened.
Right.
It was a complete.
So you didn't get to finish investigating that?
No,
night?
I didn't. No. Yeah, he took me out of there so quick.
It was because she literally hit the ground. Like I said, she was rocking. All of a sudden,
you probably even hear me fall in the audio.
You can. You could see it kind of, because it's dark, but you can see kind of the lights and stuff like that going on. So yeah. So I don't know. It was pretty crazy. I'm just saying. So yeah. Well, anyways, that's the end of the show, girls. Thank you so much for coming on with us. I appreciate that. Fun. Did you guys like it?
Yeah, that was fun.
That was good. I'm glad. Thank you guys in the chat room so much. Thank you to all the troops, and of course, Sarge. Thank you so much for helping us out with this, Sarge. I'm sorry if I killed it. I know I didn't kill it in a good way. But hey, then next week we got Jerry back with us, so just letting you guys know that. So just have a great night. Good night.
Thank you.